the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a stunner. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Boom.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile.
This video is a little bit different than my normal tweet videos or any videos that I've done before. So I was thinking about something in terms of how the royal were expecting Meghan and Princess Diana to be. And I remember a trip that my family took to Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia in 2017. In that trip, I recorded a tour that I took, and I don't know how I remember it, but I remember something that was said during that tour that I took with my family about how they treat the British, see the ladies. There's some stuff between ladies and women. Some women get to do work, and ladies don't work at all. So during that tour, I heard that, and for some reason it crossed my mind not too long ago, a few minutes ago, while I was taking a shower. So I said, you know what, let me search for that video and I'll share it with you. And obviously you don't have to watch it, but I'll try to create some timestamp where some of those key points were mentioned, and for you guys to listen. I think one of them was the difference between ladies and between lady and women, and there's a part where they say where ladies do not work and women do. I'll put that little Bengal GIF each time it reaches it, just in case if you don't want to check the timestamp. I'll put the timestamp anyway. And there's a part where they said type of instrument for ladies versus women and things like that. And rules about etiquette when you're eating and all of that. For some reason, I remember that. I don't know why. A lot of things were said, and I saw a lot of other things during that visit, but for some reason it crossed my mind. The reason it crossed my mind is that they're trying to, this is how they want their women to be, right? They want them to not work, to do certain things, or all these kind of things, based on what I've heard in that tour. If it's wrong, they better go tell this person who did the tour, who were the guide at the tour, should correct them, because this is what I got and this is what I'm seeing going on in the UK. The way, I don't know why William or something like that don't seem to be affectionate toward his wife, because this is the type of things that they want. And pretty much Kate is that type of a person when I compare it to what I've heard in that tour. And when Meghan come along, how the hell you gonna change your wife to be like Meghan when Meghan have been doing this since she was a young girl, 11 or 12, even before that? But at least in record we know since she was 11 or 12. But I'm pretty sure she's been doing that way before that, because she grew up with her mom, and I'm pretty sure her mom trained her to be a hard worker of a person. So how in the hell you gonna want someone like Kate to be like Meghan when the way they groom her to be is completely different? So pretty much the royal family got exactly what they wanted out of Kate. So they cannot try to change her, make her copy what Meghan is, because this is not the way they wanted their women to be. All right, so I'm gonna show you that that tour, and I'll try my I don't know most of the people in the video, because usually when I go on those type of tour I try not to record people, but majority of them I don't know them, so it was a public place, so I'll share it to you. I'll show you the video, but listen carefully and look for the Bengal meme or GIF that I usually put when it hits certain part. Alright, but I'll show you the whole thing though. Alright, so here's the video. Don't touch. Piano. I'll give it to you when we go down. Don't worry.
Lady Dunmore, I'm staying in the fancy room. A little more homey up here. Now, if you have some money in the 18th century, you might use wallpaper to show off that you have some money. But Lord and Lady Dunmore have a lot of money. They put fabric on their walls. This is anyone have any guesses where we get this red dye from? These is a good guess. Beetles. Think about how many bugs it's going to take to make this much red. One of the most expensive dyes available in the 18th century, and we still use it today. If you like your red lipstick, your red blush, your Doritos, could be bugs. Cochineal, or carmine as it's sometimes called, is organic and non-toxic, so it's still very common in cosmetics and food coloring, even in the 21st century. What's it called? Cochineal or carmine. Okay. In the 18th century, it's very expensive. I know you're envious of Lady Dunmore's dressing room. Now, it wasn't always the dressing room. This used to be the governor's office, but Lady Dunmore, well, she's a countess. As a countess, she's used to a large estate and has spent time at court with the Queen. This house is tiny. It's the size of the guest house at Dunmore Park. And she just spent 44 days at sea with 6 children. Lord Dunmore's desk is now elsewhere. Now, true 18th century Virginian fashion, we're using this for more than just dressing. We don't waste space. This is going to be a place for entertaining family, friends, with tea or cards, things like that. It's a place for the family to spend time together. Lady Dunmore does like to see her children once in a while. The most obvious is going to be the baby bed here. That's for the youngest, a little girl born December of 1774. First baby ever born in the governor's palace. Now, if you're the governor of Virginia trying to sway favor with Virginians, what do you name your baby girl? Virginia. Lady Virginia. We're showing her off here. That means we admire how cute she is. When she stops being so cute, the nursemaid will take her back to the nursery. We also have one of these newfangled instruments. There's only 2 pianofortes in all of Virginia. We don't think it's going to catch on. I mean, the harpsichord's been around for centuries. But, you know, the 2 eldest daughters, Lady Catherine and Lady Augusta, are teenage girls. Teenage girls like new things. Now, of the children, aside from Lady Virginia, who's a little young, they're going to be dealing with education. We all know about education. It's going to vary widely. For the 3 boys, they're going to the grammar school at the College of William and Mary. Their school day is 12 to 14 hours long, Monday through Saturday. They're not going to and from every single night. They live at the school most of the time. For the 3 girls, or 3 older girls, Lady Catherine and Lady Augusta, who I mentioned, and Lady Susan, who's about 6 and a half, their education is a bit more home-based. Now, for most Virginians, you are being educated at home by your parents. However, for Lady Catherine and Lady Augusta and Lady Susan, they get a governess, a French governess, Mademoiselle Francoise Galli. She's responsible for the girls' education, and she gets to share a room with the 2 eldest daughters. Imagine sharing a room with your teacher. Now remember, most Virginians are educated at home by your parents if you're only living in 1 or 2 rooms. Now, Lady Catherine and Lady Augusta, they're teenage girls. You know what sort of things are teenage girls interested in? Boys, fashion, going to parties. They're also young ladies. Their mothers are countesses, their fathers are earls. They're used to a large estate like their mom. They probably have their own bedchambers and not their own entire suites of rooms. As we walk through the guest room, you're going to find Lady Catherine and Lady Augusta's room. Not only are they sharing a room, they're sharing a bed. Because the other bed's going to be for that governess. Lady Susan doesn't live down here. She's going to be in the nursery with Lady Virginia until the lessons apply to her. But the girls' room is also their classroom.
They don't go anywhere. They just turn. Let them go first. Wait. Looks like the sun is coming out.
I thought it was going to rain today.
Let's hope not.
It'll probably rain a little bit later.
Were you listening to her about this room? You know, who sleeps here? That's a pretty decent room, size.
I remember that I was going to bed a person named Virginia. And then once I went to and found it, they called it Virginia. I'm going to sit down.
No. Don't sit on this, please.
Okay.
These are very old, they're antique. The lady was telling us not to touch anything. All these.
Not to touch anything.
Anything. This is a very big room.
Only 600 were in this room.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, I didn't look at it.
Over here.
All right, let's go. No, we went there already. Come on.
Straight ahead, and we'll go to the ballroom as soon as we're able.
Come on. Daddy.
Watch your steps.
Thank you.
Still here.
There's Daddy down there. Go behind Daddy. Go stand there. All right, I'm gonna go to Daddy's. this is a very nice room.
You should
It's
check
big.
there.
It's okay.
Okay.
We just go where they tell us to go. Mark, this is why I didn't want you to hold this.
Come on, move up a little.
Now, I like to call this part of the house the party wing. Now, of course, party wing is not named in any term, but it describes this area appropriately. You see, when the original governor's palace completed construction in 1722, it wasn't the one you see today that we're used to. It ended right there. That was the back door. This was gardens. It wasn't until the 1750s, when there's a big construction boom in Williamsburg, that we had a ballroom and a supper room and a complete wing dedicated to entertaining. Our decor, those reflecting the late 1760s, with Lord Botetourt, Lord Dunmore, the immediate predecessor, the governor who threw lots and lots of parties, and the governor with all the chocolate. Lord Botetourt had to make sure he had the fanciest ballroom in all of Virginia, so he did such crazy things as put in wall-to-wall carpeting. An extreme show of wealth, because, like everything else, it's going to be imported from Great Britain. Now, this carpeting is Wilton Carpeting. The company still exists today. This room is easily the size of 6 average Virginians' homes. The only room to rival it in size at the time is the Wren Chapel College. We get to dance on it. Luxury. Lord Botetourt is also responsible for the stove. Before that's installed, there's no heat back here of any kind. There's no fireplaces, nothing like that. Once that's installed, we can use the space all year round, which is excellent. Because by the time Lord Dunmore was here, it's customary to celebrate Her Majesty Queen Charlotte's birthday in January. Queen Charlotte is the wife of His Majesty King George III. Now, these are beautiful original coronation portraits from the school of their court painter, Sir Allan Ramsay. This is the preference end of the room. This is where Lord and Lady Dunmore greet their guests, so you forget who they represent. We also have 2 more monarchs from 100 years earlier. King Charles II and Catherine of Braganza. He reinstated the British monarchy after Oliver Cromwell's Puritan regime, largely financed by her dowry. He's not the best husband in the world. He's an ancestor of Lord and Lady Dunmore. But by 1775, those are the important ones. Now, a ball in a house like this will always start with the minuet. It's a stately dance. You, your partner, 5 or 6 minutes, while everybody else watches and judges. So I hope you are all attentive about your dancing lessons. You do not want to be the top of the colony for a 4 minuet. I will need music as well, maybe from this concert harpsichord. This instrument was built in 1758 by Mr. Jacob Kirkman in London, favorite instrument maker of Her Majesty. It is a beautiful instrument, but not the only instrument we have in this room. Can anyone find the other?
Stop.
They found it. Yeah? If you can see the pedal, it usually gives it away. So this is an organ. Doesn't look like it right now because you've got to open up the top to reveal the pipes and pull down this drawer to reveal the keys. The pedal is how you compare to the pipes. Only a handful of these still exist in the world. Fewer still that work. This one does, but like the harpsichord, I'm not allowed to touch it. And of course, if Lady Dunmore or one of her daughters wishes to play the organ, she's not expected to operate that pedal herself. It can be moved to the side and staff to do that work for them. The ladies don't work. That is distinctive of ladies versus women. Ladies do not work. Women do. So there are certain instruments that are not appropriate for ladies, like a flute or a violin. That's not appropriate for ladies.
Michael,
but
stop.
Most of us are farmers. If you're a daughter, you're living out on your farm, the only instrument your family has is a fiddle that you figure out how to play, don't you? Otherwise, you won't have music. But then again, that's women, not ladies. Now, all those minuets, couple by couple, descending order to break, you're gonna get hungry at some point. We don't want to feed you in that dinky family dining room. Now, I call that family dining room the family dining room, not because we sit the whole family in there. See, dinner in a house like this is going to be around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to last 2 to 3 hours. And there are 44 rules of etiquette for a table. How much fun does that sound? Yeah, most of the children are nor are they capable of sitting still that long, and they're not going to be expected to. While I call the family dining room, we are not sitting the whole family in there. Now, Lady Catherine, Lady Augusta are certainly old enough to go there on occasion. Maybe Lord Fincastle, the oldest boy when he's home from school, he is 12, so, but for most of the children, they're going to eat above stairs. If we're going to have a big banquet, we'll use the supper room. Now, supper is normally our evening meal, whatever's left over from dinner. However, in fall, it's going to be whenever those mini wets are done, typically between 10 o'clock and midnight. It'll be sweets and meats, so the good stuff, cakes, pies, donuts, jams, wine, ale, cheese, ice cream. Nothing too terribly heavy, though, because we get to come back here for even more dancing. English country dancing now, that'll last until at least dawn. Honestly, probably longer. This is Virginia, after all. There's a gentleman by the name of Francis Vivian, kept a diary of his time here. He is quoted as saying, "Virginians will dance or die." We love dancing here in Virginia. We also love gambling, so if you hear him dancing, there's cards in the parlor. Ladies, feel free to join in. We like that fun too. Or you might want to explore the gardens. Now I'm going to show you out through the supper room. It's bigger and fancier than the dining room. And into the gardens. You can take as much or as little time as you like in the gardens. If you do have further questions, I can certainly endeavor to answer those for you, but otherwise, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I sure hope you like green.
Here, you could have that now. Thank you. Thank you.
All this party and more out.
Working, and I think, Eamon, you referenced it too, only by working together in a holistic way are we going to be able to achieve that. You know, it is the healthcare, it is the education system, it is working, only by working.
Ladies do not work. Women do.
And about the issue of paid family leave as part of this infrastructure package, talking to senators and congresspeople and all sorts of things. And the reason I bring it up is because you have made this issue and women a central one for you.
How do you understand it to begin with? How do you know that that's a part of your destiny?
Well, we don't, put it this way, we don't all sit in a room with a queen and a blackboard going. It's a kind of, I don't know, I think it's, I wouldn't say it's in our blood, but at the same time I think it's over history and watching our parents, watching our grandparents, and just learning our way through that process. I mean, Christ, I think I went to my first proper royal engagement at the age of 4 or 5. So you make mistakes, like we all have, and then slowly you find your way and you start to realize that you've got an incredible platform to make really positive change.
And I'm sure there's people in the audience who are saying to themselves, you know what, I don't understand. She has this great privilege. How is this and why is this her topic? So I thought we'd start there.
Did you always embrace this role and responsibility?
No, I don't think I understood it. I think what happened to my mum probably put me a step back, thinking, well, how could someone who did so much for the world and did so much for everybody else could be treated like that by a certain institution? So it takes a bit of getting used to, but as I said, you know, it's once you understand the privileged position that you're in, you've then got to spend the rest of your life earning that privilege and giving back, and also gaining the trust and respect of the general public, and then using that position for good.
What helped you to understand that position that you were at?
Spending 10 years in the military was one.
And what did that do for you?
I think I wouldn't say it changed my outlook on life, but there were certainly experiences that I went through during those 10 years that not only was I surrounded by normal people on a day-to-day basis and being able to share and talk about everyday issues that they were going through, but it was a grounding moment for me as well.
And about the issue of paid family leave as part of this infrastructure package, talking to senators and congresspeople and all sorts of things. And the reason I bring it up is because you have made this issue and women a central one for you. And I'm sure there's people in the audience who are saying to themselves, you know what? I don't understand. She has this great privilege. How is this and why is this her topic? So I thought we'd start there.
Sure, let's start there. I mean, I think you mentioned privilege. My husband has always said, with great privilege comes great responsibility. But even before I had any sort of privilege in my life, when my life and my lifestyle were very, very different, I always just stood up for what was right. And so I've been gone from the US for a really long time. I lived in Canada for 7 years for work, then moved to the UK, and to come back and now be a mother of two, and to see that the US is one of only 6 countries in the entire world that doesn't offer any form of national paid leave, just didn't make sense. So I guess my approach was the same as it's been since I was really young. When I was 11 and I saw something that was wrong on TV, I put pen to paper and wrote a letter about it. So on this I said, well, let me write a letter and let me pick up the phone and make some calls and see if I can help. It's just, to me, it seems like a really logical and obvious thing to do, and I'm happy that I'm able to support it.
And Duchess, what are you most excited about when it comes to the future of your work with the foundation?
There's sort of lots that I think I'm hugely excited about with the foundation, from the foundation's perspective. They mentioned before about working together. You know, looking for William as well, looking at sort of long-term prospect. As you know, imagine if we were able to do sort of a Heads Together campaign with another generation of members of the royal family. I think that's so exciting to think that with so many more of us working on the same cause or similar causes, we could make a real impact. I also, for me personally, I'm really interested in keeping going with this sort of the mental health element, and really focusing on sort of the early years, early intervention, looking at how early can we go back really to support the next generation to help break the cycle, and looking at how to support parents and families, bring up the next generation of mentally sort of happy and well children, but also helping them have the tools as well to cope with the challenges of modern day family and parenthood.
And how does your own personal experience feed into that? Because I know those issues that you mentioned, early intervention, coping with parenthood, supporting the next generation of mothers, are issues that are very close to your heart.
Absolutely, and I've learned a huge amount from firstly the patronage that I've worked with, but also some of the amazing experts that I met along the way. And you know, you can't help but reflect on then your own life, and it's definitely had an impact on how sort of I look at how I mother, how we work as a family, and you know, how we hope to bring up our children. And I've learned so much, and I just, you know, if some of this knowledge and some of the facts and figures that I've learned along the way could be passed on to the general public, I think in an awareness campaign or something like that, I think would be hugely beneficial to all mothers and parents out there.
Meghan, you touched on it before. You have, it's well known, you've championed the empowerment of women and young girls and promoting their self-worth. How do you hope to continue that work with the Royal Foundation?
Yes, I mean, I think that knowing that I've just been here for 3 months, right? And in that amount of time, but with that said, for me, it's very important to, once you hit the ground running, even if you're doing it quietly behind the scenes, which is what I've focused my energy on thus far, is meeting with the right people, meeting with the right organizations behind the scenes quietly, learning as much as I can so that I can maximize the opportunity we have here to really make an impact. I think what's interesting is I hear a lot of people saying, when speaking about girls' empowerment, finding and knowing their worth, or women's empowerment as well, you'll often hear people say, well, you're helping women find their voices. And I fundamentally disagree with that, because women don't need to find a voice. they have a voice, they need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to be encouraged to listen. And I think right now in the climate that we're seeing with so many campaigns, I mean, with Me Too and Time's Up, there is no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered and people really helping to support them, men included in that. I mean, it makes such a tremendous difference. So, yeah, just I guess we wait a couple months and then we can hit the ground running. But up until then, I'm pretty excited.
Ulavanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today. As a university graduate, I know the personal feeling of pride and excitement that comes with attending university. From the moment you receive your acceptance letter, to the exams you spend countless late nights studying for, the lifelong friendships you make with your fellow alumni, to the moment that you receive your diploma. The journey of higher education is an incredible, impactful, and pivotal one. I am also fully aware of the challenges of being able to afford this level of schooling for many people around the world, myself included. It was through scholarships, financial aid programs, and work study, where my earnings from a job on campus went directly towards my tuition, that I was able to attend university. And without question, it was worth every effort.
Ladies do not